What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here live to break down NFL free agency. The franchise tag deadline has passed. We now know each and every player that has been franchised, your franchise player for 2021. I am going to, in this video, break down and analyze each and every franchise tag and let you know whether your team made the correct decision to franchise that player. I'll also take a look at some of the players that were not franchised and discuss why maybe they should have been franchised or why the team that did not franchise them made the correct decision, guys. So in this video, let's get to it. Let's break it down. I am excited. Free agency is here. The last 2 days have been absolutely wild. Absolutely nuts. Okay? It's been insane. Okay? We have had news left and right. I've been trying to catch up. I've been trying to keep pace, and I'm going to be keeping pace and hopefully giving you as many videos breaking down these free agents and these free agency signings and crazy trades across the NFL over the next month plus. So make sure, even if you're not getting that notification each and every time I drop a video, make sure that at the end of the day, when you're looking, where's the bottom line view content? Mitch, where are you at? Where is the content? Make sure you go to the channel, turn the notification bell on, okay? It's got to be on all alerts. And then it's also, probably at the end of the day, you might miss an alert, okay? So you got to check when I go live or when I put out a video, because sometimes YouTube doesn't help me out. So let's get to it. Let's break it down, each and every franchise tag player. Before I get to every franchise player for 2021, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL analysis just like this. Also, comment. Get in that live comment section, guys. I want you to be active. I'm going to be active in the live comments, so get in there, and I'll be answering your questions all night long. Samuel says, crazy how I was just watching one of the videos until I saw this. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Sports Today. He's pumped. The Lions made some moves. What's up, Monty? Monty's one of the GOATs. Asia is in the chat. Asia is right up. I see Asia on every live stream. Asia is the best. What's going on, guys? Make sure you're in that live comments. Make sure you're spiking that like button. Let's go. Free agency time, man. This is the time. This is the time. This is my favorite time. So before I get to those crazy franchise tags, we'll get some more people in here, okay? Let's plug something, okay? So I have something coming up. I'm now a part of a podcast, okay? It's a podcast called The Juke. This is what it's called. All right. I will be co-hosting alongside Dr. Jen Welter, who, if you do not know who Jen Welter is, she is the first ever NFL female coach. She coached with the Cardinals. She's been in the NFL. She knows plenty of NFL players and coaches. So we are going to be on that show breaking down the NFL each and every week. It's going to drop each and every Friday. Okay, and we're going to have NFL guests. I have some really good ones in mind that we might be getting. We have some really awesome big-time NFL players that may be on the show. So make sure that you do go follow us on Instagram at The Juke Podcast, as well as on Twitter as well. So make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And once we actually release the first episode, which is coming out on Friday, okay, it's coming out on Friday, the first episode, and yeah, I'll let you know when that drops, and I'll let you know where to actually listen to the first episode. But so far, we've got the socials going. So if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Juke Podcast, I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. It's also going to be on YouTube. Yes, it's also going to be on YouTube. I believe you just search up, we don't have any videos yet, but if you search up The Juke Podcast or just The Juke, you probably will be able to find it under channels on YouTube. But once the first episode actually drops, I'll post the link on the community tab as well as in the Discord. So there's no better time to join the Discord, join the community. Link is in the description where you can join and get the alerts. You could get the announcements when I'm going live, when I'm just had a... This is why you need to be in the Discord, guys. Because if you don't get the alert from YouTube, you're going to miss when I break down Hunter Henry signing with the Patriots, okay? And I know you want to listen to that. So you got to join the Discord to get that alert, okay? So let's take a look at the players that were franchise tagged just in case you forgot, okay? Or you didn't see, maybe. So let's check it out. So these are my boys, Catch the Blitz. Also, make sure you follow those guys, Catch the Blitz. Those are my boys, okay? So we're going to be collabing. Catch the Blitz on Instagram. They have already 100,000 followers over there on Instagram. They put out the quickest news, okay? They put out the quickest news I've seen. I mean, these guys are quicker than Adam Schefter, bro. So you got to get over there. You got to check them out. But we have the franchise tags. Okay, so we have Justin Simmons. We have Marcus May, Brandon Scherff, Leonard Williams, Taylor Moton, Cam Robinson, Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, and Marcus Williams. So we have 2 wide receivers, 3 safeties, a couple of tackles, a guard, and a defensive lineman. These are the players I'm going to break down. I'm also going to get to the notable players as well, like Joe Tooney, Kenny Golladay, Hunter Henry, and all these other guys that did not get tagged. So follow Catch the Blitz, guys, on Instagram if you want really quick NFL news on your Instagram feed. Okay, let's go first with Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons has been tagged by the Denver Broncos. Justin Simmons, to me, is one of the 3 to 5 best safeties in football. Okay, don't listen to Durkant. I know a lot of you guys are just, your brains have been taken over and brainwashed by Durkant, okay, in the Discord. Do not be brainwashed by the people that say Justin Simmons is not an elite player. Justin Simmons is a special player, special safety, okay? What he can do, he could play free safety, right? Back there, he's rangy. He can make, big plays in the back end, interceptions, bat down passes. He can also be a free safety who can get in the box and can stop the run. He's a free safety who can come down in blitz, okay? He could play strong safety if you like. He's got the size, he's got the length, he's got all of it. He's got enough speed to go sideline to sideline. He can also probably play linebacker if you like. So to me, this was one of the more valuable franchised players thus far. And I would believe, okay, that Denver will look to sign this man long term. Not just on the franchise tag. They'll look to sign him to 3, 4, 5 years plus to keep him a part of that Vic Fangio defense. Okay, the other thing you need to remember is that this Vic Fangio defense loves safeties. Safeties are a big part of this defense because they play a lot of split safety looks. They play a lot of cover 4 quarters, right? So you need those really good cover safeties, and Justin Simmons can do it all. He can play zone, man, defend the run, all in one player, and that's why he is extremely valuable. He would have went for the most money we've seen in the NFL at safety if he were not franchise tagged. I think that is the value of this player. So just easily, okay, a great franchise player, a great franchise tag in my opinion. Make sure you guys do Gronk spike that like button, as Monty says. Monty is the man. He always knows when to promote. All right, so Justin Simmons, 1 down. All right, just self-explanatory. Awesome player, easy decision in my opinion, and they'll look to extend him long term. The next player is Marcus May. Marcus May, another safety. We're starting here first with the 3 safeties. Marcus May of the New York Jets. I love Marcus May. I loved Marcus May before last year, okay? I liked Marcus May 2 years ago when people didn't really know who he was. 3 years ago, I liked Marcus May because I saw him, 2 times a year. I'm like, who is this guy? who is this guy on the Jets, this free safety that's all over the field? He's just flying around. He's making big hits. The thing is, I don't think we saw the value of Marcus Maye until Greg Williams was gone, okay? Because the thing with Marcus Maye and also Jamal Adams, because Marcus Maye in Greg Williams' defense was playing so far back that you literally would not see him on the screen, okay? So when he was actually closer to the line of scrimmage, a little bit more involved, and Jamal Adams left and he was allowed to become the spotlight, okay? He took that spotlight away from Jamal Adams. We saw how good he is, okay? Marcus Maye is excellent. Excellent player, great in coverage. I think he's tough, physical, good tackler, and I think he's been pretty good, if not really good, for the past 3 years, but this last year was his best season by far. It's also difficult to tell, how good a player is when they're on the Jets, who have absolutely stunk, but he certainly, I would say, he's been their best, he's their best player last year, I think. I think you could say him and Quinnen Williams are their best players, okay? So that's self-explanatory as well. Now, I actually thought there was a bit too much friction for this to happen. It felt like Marcus Maye actually was going to leave. So I don't know if there would be an open door for a trade here for a safety needy team, but I would expect, here's the thing with safeties, okay? There are not going to be a lot of teams trading for safeties because there are so many safeties in this league. There are so many quality players at this position, even though it's a valuable position, especially in certain defenses, but there's so many ones that could start for you that are quality, that trading for one, even as good as Marcus Maye, doesn't quite make sense. So it does feel like now that he's franchised, okay, he is going to be a part of this Jets defense. They're pretty good at the safety position, actually. And Marcus Maye is also a leader. He's also a captain for a very young defense. So that is also something that is valuable for them. So just a player that I really like, and I think that was the correct decision to keep him in New York. I would have been disappointed with the Jets given how much cap they had this year if they would have let arguably their best player go. You have the second or third most cap space in the NFL and you let your second or first best player out the door. That would have been a bad move. That would have been just not my favorite. So I like that they were able to keep him. Yo, Mitchell Mullaney's in the chat. What's going on, Mitchell Mullaney? What's going on, bro? All right. Next, the third safety that was tagged was Marcus Williams. Okay, Marcus Williams of the New Orleans Saints. Marcus Williams, I was not expecting to be tagged, and the biggest reason is because I have no idea how it happened. I don't know how, okay, this guy was tagged. The Saints literally put two middle fingers up and said, we do not care about the salary cap. We will do whatever it takes to keep this guy in our building. And maybe this is what the Saints are thinking, okay? Maybe what they're thinking is, oh, we could trade Marcus Williams. Or maybe he's too valuable to let out the door. Maybe we could get something in return from him. I was shocked because not because he's not a great player. He's a great player. He's a very good player. Okay, but I just don't understand how you have negative $48 million in cap and you're still allowed to franchise tag somebody. That quite doesn't make sense to me. But here's what Sean Payton said. He said, you know what? We know that the NFL is going to get paid. Okay, we know the NFL is going to get these broadcasting fees and we're just going to hold on. We're going to get this broadcasting deal from Amazon or ESPN or Fox or CBS or NBC or whoever wants to pay us the bottom line view. And we are going to get some money. So we're going to hold on to this guy and we're going to force the hand of the NFL to strip him away from us. That's what I really feel. So Marcus Williams tagged just as a player, very smart player, very composed player, is not a player that stands out, but is a player that rarely makes mistakes, even though he's known for a big mistake. And Marcus Williams is still young, basically just entering his prime. Valuable free safety for this defense, and the reason the Saints rarely give up big plays down the field, a lot of that has to do with Marcus Williams. I would comp Marcus Williams, although they're not identical in style. I think their role is similar to Devin McCourty in New England, where, okay, McCourty doesn't always have 5 picks, but you never see the Patriots give up big plays because of that range and because of that free safety. And that is exactly what Marcus Williams gives and offers New Orleans. He offers that safety blanket at safety. So the last man in defense, man, that's what he is. So Marcus Williams is a pretty good player. He's not like an elite safety, but he's probably on that second tier. I don't mind it. I just don't know how it happened. I'm going to be honest. The next player is an offensive lineman. Brandon Scherff has also been tagged of the Washington football team. Brandon Scherff is one of the elite guards in the NFL. He was named an All-Pro in 2020, and finally an All-Pro, to be honest. This is a guy that's been very, very good for the past 3 to 4 years, and he finally got his credit. He finally got his due this past year. But I would say with Brandon Scherff, I also like this move. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot because I like a lot of these, because obviously they're good players, okay? Why wouldn't I like somebody tagging a good player, okay? But Brandon Scherff is a good player. Not even good. He's great. And Washington's primary focus right now, they're going to have to lean on that offensive line. They're going to have to lean on the running game. They do not have a quarterback, okay? So they want to make sure that they protect whoever their quarterback's going to be and that they can run the football. Well, they need Brandon Scherff to do that, right? He's also just a true Washington, I don't want to say, do I say football team player? Because he played on the other team for 7 years. The team names thing. Okay, anyways. Brandon Scherff is just a great player. He's great in the run game, great in the pass game. I would say he's better in the run game than the pass game, but he's a foundational player, right? In the locker room, on the field, all of it for Washington. And they wanted to keep that key piece together. Yeah, that's their best player. I think you could say that's probably their best player. I don't think I would be wrong by saying that. They have other good players. Terry McLaurin, Chase Young, Payne, Allen, all these guys are good. But I think Brandon Scherff's their best player. I don't think I'd be wrong in saying that. So, obviously, good move to tag him. And I think he's also key to what they do. So that's also very important when evaluating a tag. Next, Chris Godwin, okay? Chris Godwin has been tagged. I know the Tampa Bay Bucks fans are waiting for this one. Chris Godwin has been tagged. I know you Bucks fans love Chris Godwin. I understand you love Chris Godwin. I love Chris Godwin. And maybe not as much as you guys. I feel like every Bucks fan I see is my favorite player is Chris Godwin. I don't know why. What is it about Chris Godwin? Okay, he's cool. He's a great player. He's only 24. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong. He's tough as nails. Everything about him's awesome. But it's just weird that every Bucks fan I see in my comments are Chris Godwin's my favorite player. I don't know if they feel like they need to say that or why isn't it Mike Evans? Why isn't it Levante David? Why is it Chris Godwin? Can you Bucks fans let me know why? But I'm just curious about that. But I love Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, here's the thing. I made a video, actually. I don't know if I should still post it. You guys should let me know in the comments. I actually made a video about why the Bucks should trade for Odell. And in that video, I talked about why, if the Bucks get rid of Chris Godwin, Odell would be an ideal replacement, and if not just a replacement, but also, in my opinion, an upgrade. And the reason I said that is because of Odell's explosive ability and the combination of also having a Tyler Johnson who's very similar to what Chris Godwin gives you if you're the Bucks. So that's why I talk about it in that video. If you want me to release that, maybe I'll just put it on the Patreon. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comments if you guys still want me to release that, because I thought it might have been a little old already. So then we have, Chris Godwin, who's, I think Brady, here's the thing with the Bucks. So everybody knew that the Bucks, everybody and their cat, their dog, their mom, their grandma knew that the Bucks had to sign Levante David They had to sign Gronk, AB, maybe Fournette. They had to sign Shaq. They had to sign a whole bunch of players. So they wanted to get all the players possible. They wanted to gather them all up and go for it once again, right? Go for the repeat. Chris Godwin, to me, was the third most valuable player on that list. Even though Chris Godwin, just by a typical free agency ranking, would be higher than Shaq, maybe, and higher than Levante David, the value to the Bucks this year would have been Shaq first, David second, and Godwin third, just because of the replaceability of Godwin when you look at the Bucks roster. It would have been very difficult to replace Shaq. It would have been very difficult to replace David, and David has resigned. So, what I think the Bucks are doing here is they rather keep Chris Godwin on the franchise tag at $16 million, which I believe it is for this year. They can choose to extend him, or they can wait till next year to extend him, or they can use this to trade him. So there's a lot of different things they can do, right? So they've re-signed David. If they get in trouble with Shaq and they have to open up space, which I don't think they will, because according to multiple reports, they've already been working on deals for Shaq Barrett. So my assumption would be Chris Godwin's going to stay for the year, and they're going to try to extend him next offseason. They're going to work on Shaq this offseason and get him extended so they can keep Shaq. So they've already got David done. They want to work on Shaq next, and they basically probably told Chris Godwin, you know, bro, you're 24. We'll handle you next offseason, okay? You're only going to be 25. You can get your bag at 25. You know, you only got to wait one more year. Let's win another Super Bowl. Come back here. We'll put you on the franchise tag. But if it becomes an issue, okay, they could trade Godwin for a first-round pick. I mean, I think they could. They could trade Godwin for Odell or whatever they want to do there. Or they could trade Godwin and get Odell. I don't know. But there's been rumors about the Odell and Bucks thing, so I'm just fascinated by it. But I think it's a good move because I think no matter what, the Bucks win here, right? They rather keep a really awesome player or they trade him for great assets. Like, there is no lose here for the Bucks if you're the Bucks. So I like the move. I love the player, and I think obviously the Bucks are in win now mode, so it was very important to bring back their guys. And Chris Godwin is their guy, right? They drafted him. He was even a mid-round steal, okay? He wasn't even a first-round pick. He was a mid-round steal. He's hardworking. He's a great dude, according to everybody. He works hard. He's tough. I think he just brings, you know, that inside target for Tom Brady. He's great after the catch, strong hands, fought through injury. That's the guy you want to reward, okay? And that is what they're doing here with the franchise tag. But like I said, Tampa can do whatever they want, okay? They can trade him, they can keep him, they can extend him, but the franchise tag is not just used to retain a player, but it's also used for flexibility with a player financially. So keep that in mind. Those are my thoughts on Chris Godwin. Next, we have Cam Robinson. Now, this is the first one where I'm a little like, why? Okay? This is the first one where I sit here and say, why? Like, I get it, okay? You're getting the first pick, so you're going to go with a QB. You've got Trevor Lawrence in the bag if that's who you so choose to pick, okay? And I'm pretty sure it is. Because I don't think Urban Meyer would have signed up if he didn't already know who he was picking at number 1, and I'm pretty sure it's Trevor Lawrence. So let's just assume it's Trevor Lawrence. So they have Trevor Lawrence. They need an offensive line to protect Trevor Lawrence. So I understand why you would want to keep your left tackle. Okay, that's important, or one of your tackles at the very least. That's important. You want to protect that young rookie quarterback. But to be honest, Cam Robinson is not worth this much money. He's not worth a franchise tag. He's not worth this much money this year. Now, the thing with Jacksonville is they have so much money, they have FU money, right? They have like $100 kajillion. So they can basically sign whoever they like. Okay, they could sign Monty and Seahawks and Lions fan to a 1-year, $20 million deal if they like, just to be their water boy. Okay, that's how much money they have. So to me, Cam Robinson, I don't love the player. Okay, actually, when I was evaluating Cam Robinson, I thought he had a lot of promise in college. He came into the NFL. He was okay, serviceable, but maybe a little bit disappointing. He was a second round pick, high second round pick. I think he was actually the first pick of the second day. I might be wrong about that, but I think so. And then as the time wears on, he feels like a player that might be a little bit of a reclamation project elsewhere. And that to me is not a player that you franchise. Okay, so rather the Jags are making a decision that is like, you know, we just really want to make sure we have a tackle for Trevor Lawrence, and we don't think there's any other better options out there, so we're going to franchise Robinson, or we want one more year to look at him because we have new coaches, we have, you know, maybe our new offensive line coach or our new offensive coordinator can get the best out of Cam Robinson. We've never seen him with this coaching staff. So maybe that was the decision, right? Maybe new coaching staff, new regime. We want to take one look at him for 1 year, even if we're overpaying for his services. Maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe Urban Meyer, when he was in college, Cam Robinson, they're like, oh, I love this guy. And then they saw him in the NFL and they're like, you know what? I could fix him. Maybe that's their evaluation. I don't know, but it is fascinating. I think this is certainly even though it's probably one of the least known names on the list here, I think he's a player that a lot of people are intrigued to see. Why did they franchise him? And to me, it's because for a multitude of reasons. I think the first reason is to protect Trevor Lawrence and being safe about it. Number two is they probably saw no better options in free agency or the draft where they were picking. And number three is they wanted to take one look at him with the new regime. So that's my opinion on that. Next, we have Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, guys, you know that I have a freaking man crush on Leonard Williams. This man is a monster. Okay, this guy, if he played in 2003, this guy would be Richard Seymour. Okay, that's pretty much what he is. And last year, he had, 12 sacks? I think he's had over 10 sacks twice in his career as a member of the Jets and the Giants. He had a little bit of a lull like 2 years ago and then came on strong, okay, with the Giants these last 2 years. I think over the last 2 years, he might be leading the NFL in quarterback hits. He's at least up there. He's a guy that when you watch him, he makes his presence known. Like even if he doesn't get a lot of sacks, he's going to hit the quarterback. He's going to punish him. Like he brings physicality. He brings awesome size and athleticism for his size. That's why I say it kind of reminds me of Richard Seymour. He plays the same position. He's in a New England defense now with Graham there as the defensive coordinator. It's Graham, right? I believe it is. And, of course, Joe Judge is the head coach. So they value that type of guy, right? A guy that's an interior disruptor. He's awesome versus the run, but he's also the team's best pass rusher. So they couldn't afford to lose this guy. Obviously, they couldn't work out a long-term deal right now, but my guess would be with Leonard Williams that they eventually work out a long-term deal, okay? So that would be my guess. I don't think he's going to play this season on the tag because I think he played last season on the tag. I thought it was wise last year for them to tag him because he showed enough flashes to warrant the tag. But this year, you know, he was awesome this year. Like, he was one of the best interior defensive linemen last year. So that's the type of guy that, okay, we saw good in the first year. We saw great in the second year with this new coaching staff. We're going to pay him now, and we're going to make him our highest paid defensive lineman. But the thing with Leonard Williams is you need to find edge players to support him, edge playmakers, finesse pass rushers to you know, help him out. Because I think Leonard Williams, this year, he's going to get a lot of doubles if he wasn't already seeing that. He's going to take up a lot of space. He's going to be the priority. I think the best approach to the Giants offseason would be to find an edge rusher who can take advantage of those one-on-ones when Leonard Williams is taking up those double teams. So I think this is a great move, but I would expect them to not just tag him at the end of the day. I would expect an extension for Leonard Williams because he is that good. Also, the Giants defense kind of underrated too. Throwing that out there. Allen Robinson has been tagged by the Chicago Bears. This is something that actually surprised me slightly. I think a lot of people weren't surprised by this because they're like, oh, the Bears won't let Allen Robinson go. But it has just appeared that Allen Robinson really doesn't want to play in Chicago. Like, he's not outright saying it, okay? He's not like saying, I don't want to play in Chicago. He's like, he at least said something to PFF where it was like 31 other teams would sign me. So like, that's kind of saying, you know, I want an extension or else I want out sort of thing. That's at least what I get from it. So, you know, look out for those sort of things too, because a lot of guys are passive aggressive, right? Russell Wilson, for example. A lot of guys won't outright say, I want to trade, but they'll be like, you know, I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, and I'm not sure I feel respected, or I'm not sure that they really believe in me. Like, they're going to say these stupid things. So just make sure that you're out, you know, you figure that out. You decipher the code that is the NFL free agency and these players with their chit chat. But I think Allen Robinson is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now. And I believe that if they do not extend him, I think we could see Allen Robinson. I would say out of all of these players that have been tagged, Allen Robinson is by far the most likely to be traded out of all of them, because the Bears don't have a lot of cap space. So Allen Robinson is being paid like $20 million. That's a lot of money. Even for a good wide receiver, even for a number one wide receiver, that is a lot of money. And if you're Chicago, you know, you already are in a tight cap spot. So I would expect the Bears, I think they tagged him because they said, you know, maybe we could have him play for us. Like, we'd like to have him play for us, but we could also trade him and get back at least a second, if not a first round pick. Because like I said, number one wide receivers go for first round picks. That's just it right there. So I could see like a team like New England, you know, trying to make a move there. A team like Baltimore trying to make a move. Somebody like that that's looking for an alpha wide receiver, I think could certainly look Allen Robinson's way. They get him on the franchise, and then ultimately they can extend him long term when they get him in the building. But I would say that Allen Robinson is more likely to be traded than any other of these tag candidates, or the tags officially that went down today. So yeah, love the player. Awesome guy. Only 27. Yes, he's had some injury history, but I think he's just hitting his peak right now. And we're going to see the best of Allen Robinson for the next 2 to 3 years. And I would expect if he goes somewhere with better quarterback play, remember, this is a guy that's never had a good quarterback. Like, not even average. He's never had an average quarterback. Never mind good. Never mind elite. So just think about that with Allen Robinson. Lastly, we have Taylor Moat. Taylor Moton has been tagged by Carolina, and I didn't miss anyone. I got Chris Godwin. All right, I was just making sure. Okay, so Taylor Moton, Carolina Panthers. This was quite obvious to me, and it made a lot of sense when I saw it. Even though a lot of people don't know who Taylor Moton is, he's quietly one of the top 5, top 7 right tackles in the NFL, and right now, Carolina is in the process of looking for their future quarterback. So what they need is to solidify their tackle position to make sure that that quarterback will be protected. Taylor Moton is like 26, so he's fairly young, and he has basically been very solid his whole career. I don't think he's ever had a bad year. He's at least been pretty good, like top half at the very least, every year of his career thus far. And that's the guy, you know, that you want to keep. Like, very solid, doesn't miss a lot of games, good all around, you know, run and pass game. And I think he's just a foundation right tackle. I don't think he'll be ever paid elite money, but he'll be one of those solid starters for you for a number of years. And I think this was a smart investment because of the state of the franchise. Whether it's Teddy Bridgewater or somebody else, you need that right tackle. And as we've seen, you know, a team like Jacksonville tagging Cam Robinson just speaks volumes, because that evaluation right there tells you that there are not going to be a lot of tackles available in free agency that teams think they can sign or teams think are any good. Okay, that just throwing that out there. So that makes it even more obvious that Taylor Moton should be tagged and that he should remain a Panther. So, yeah, those are all the franchise tags, guys. The breakdown of each and every franchise player. Now let's get to some of the notable guys that were not signed to a franchise tag, okay? Some of the guys that were not signed. So the first one is Joe Thuney of the New England Patriots. So today, early today in the morning, we saw Trent Brown got traded to the Patriots from the Raiders. I already made a video on that. If you guys haven't already checked it out, make sure you do go check out my reaction to Trent Brown being traded to the Patriots. That basically said goodbye to Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is going to get paid a lot. I think close to $20 million a year. He's going to go to a guard-needy, pass-blocking needy team. I think Cincinnati makes a lot of sense. That's the one that I think probably the favorite for him. Miami would also make sense. But Joe Thuney is probably going to be gone. They make the move for Trent Brown. They still got Marcus Cannon on the books. They've got Michael Omenihu, who basically they lucked into by picking him in like the 6th round or whatever. And he's a stud already. And they have Shaq Mason. And they want to look to re-sign David Andrews. So Joe Thuney's going to be gone. And yeah, unfortunately, he won't remain a Patriot because he's been the absolute definition of consistent and definition of tough. But, it's just too costly for New England. So he'll move on and he'll probably be great somewhere else. The next guy is Kenny Golladay. I know Lions fans really want me to talk about this one. I think Kenny Golladay is an awesome player. There's a lot of Lions fans saying that they are happy that they didn't franchise him for whatever reason. And I don't know about that. Like, this is a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. Okay. You have Jared Goff now, who is going to significantly struggle. You guys have no wide receivers now. Marvin Jones is gone. Amendola is gone. Tyrell Williams, you sign. Okay. He's a number 3, right? You don't have any wide receivers. I think Kenny Golladay was your 2nd or 3rd best player on your team. He's gone. He's not coming back to Detroit. I understand that he's been a little injury prone, okay? But, he's young and he's just in his prime right now. And he's a number 1 wide receiver. I think those guys are valuable. So, now, if he was asking for $20 million, I don't exactly know the situation. The report is that he was asking for over $18 million. So that might be a little steep. Maybe you don't value him that way. So I understand why they didn't tag him. But again, you couldn't have tagged him and maybe tried to trade him like the Bears are trying to do maybe with Allen Robinson, potentially. You're basically sacrificing Jared Goff to the Wolves this year by not signing a wide receiver, not retaining Kenny Golladay. So I think he's going to get paid big time because he's a really good player. And he's still young, and he's in his prime. He's going to get paid $18 to $20 million easily. And I think he deserves it because, like I said, I think he's a number 1. I think it would be even better if he went to, a team that already had kind of like a number 1. I think that would be interesting. It will be interesting to see who signs him, though. I kind of got to think about that. But he's a great jump ball wide receiver. He reminds me a lot of a prime Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall type of player. He's a good downfield wide receiver. Sports Today says Detroit offered the contract. He declined $19 million per year. Yeah, that's the report that I read as well. So, yeah, I get it. I mean, if he values himself more than that, we'll have to see if he'll get more than that. Obviously, he has an inclination that he feels he will. So we'll see, I think he's a top 15 wide receiver at the very least. And those are the type of players, I come on here all the time. I say the value of the wide receiver position has never been higher. So it would have been a player that I would have liked to have signed. But I can understand if Detroit didn't want to sign him to $20 million. That might just be too much. That's top 5 wide receiver territory, not top 15 territory. So Kenny Golladay was an interesting one. I think that could be great for Detroit. That could be bad for Detroit. I don't really have a clear answer because I don't really know the situation. But that's going to be one that we evaluate once we see him on another team. And we might be like, Detroit probably should have kept him. Or Detroit was right for not signing him because he got hurt or whatever. That's going to be a reactionary thing, I think. Then we have the tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Hunter Henry would have been way too expensive because he got tagged last year, so the tag only goes up. It does not appear that the Chargers will keep him, so it's going to be basically the highest bidder for Hunter Henry. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be interested. I think Cincinnati will be interested. I think Jacksonville will be interested. I think New England will be interested. I think a lot of teams, okay? A lot of teams need a tight end. Guys, I know that Hunter Henry's not a top 5 tight end, but he's a top 10 tight end. And top 10 tight ends, the difference between the 8th best tight end and like the 20th best tight end is a significant margin. Okay, so he's going to get paid a fair amount. He's also a guy that has flashed a lot of really awesome upside, but has not been able to really truly put it together. So somebody's going to pay him for his upside, in my opinion. Then you have Jonnu Smith, who I think I like more, right, than Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry is probably a better player over the course of his career, like more productive thus far. But I think that Jonnu Smith's ceiling is absolutely astronomical. Like, this guy is an awesome athlete, phenomenal speed, great after the catch. Bill Belichick once called him the best yak tight end in the NFL. So that just speaks to how good he is. I would not be surprised if New England signed him. That's the type of player that they like. He's good as a blocker too, he's better as a blocker than Hunter Henry. He's not as refined as a route runner or a receiver, but he's just an all-around, well-rounded tight end. And there are some teams that really do value that. So Jonnu Smith is a guy that I think might surprise you how much money he gets on the open market because he's a rare specimen. The final two, we first have Shaquille Griffin. Shaquille Griffin, the cornerback of the Seattle Seahawks. This one did not surprise me because Shaquille Griffin, while he's been okay, he's been pretty good, he has never been great. He's never been phenomenal. He's never been shut down. And when you franchise a corner, you're saying we cannot afford to lose this guy. He is a number 1 cornerback. And Shaquille Griffin is like a high-end 2, I think, like at corner. That's what he is. I don't think he's like a true number 1 by any means. He does fit that system well. I think Seattle would like to have him back, but I don't think he's really like anything special. I think he does have upside still. He's still fairly young. He'll get a good offer on the open market, but I do agree with Seattle for not franchising him. Last name is Romeo Okwara, who had an absolutely awesome end to the year, but I think his inconsistency tells you why he wasn't franchised. Just too inconsistent over the last 3 years that he's been a part of Detroit. And while he put together a very nice finish there, I think that is going to be worth a probable, pretty good 1 to 2 year contract, but nothing like substantial. I don't think you're going to see Romeo Okwara get a 3, 4, 5 year contract with huge money. You're going to see like a 1, 2 year deal, with probably like $10, $15 million in that range. And teams are going to be looking for the upside to potentially, have him on that team. But I don't see him as a guy that you would franchise just because of the inconsistencies. I don't think he's a true number 1 pass rusher. He's more of a number 2, but a young player, a good player, and an underrated player. So those are the guys that were notable that were kept off the franchise tag list. All right, guys, let's get to some of the comments and ask me your questions or anything that you have to say. Right now is the time. Let's get to it, guys. If you haven't already, make sure that you do Gronk spike that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more NFL analysis, free agency, just like this. Sports Today says, bold take. Pats are either getting Henry or Jonnu. I think that's probably not even bold. I think that's actually accurate. The amount of money they have combined with the absolute need at the position, they have the worst tight end position in the league. It's not even particularly close. So, yeah, that makes too much sense. Nicholas Gill says, hey, what's up, Nicholas Gill? What's going on, brother? What do you think of the Allen Robinson situation? Rob says Shaq Griffin to San Francisco. Rob says Kittle spike it. You guys like that little animation, by the way? Just watch it, watch it, watch it. Keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your eyes on the screen. Boom. Look at that. Okay. T-Bone says, are you secretly a Rams fan now instead of being a secret Lions fan because of the Stafford trade? I will be cheering for the Rams. There's no way around it. There's no doubt about it. I will be cheering for the Rams. Are they my favorite team? No, but I will cheer for them for sure. They'll be my second NFC team. How about that? Sports Today says, would you rather have Cam or Jimmy G? This is a really good question. I've actually been contemplating this. Reports say that Jimmy G is plan A. I don't think anybody knows what plan A is other than Bill Belichick and maybe Ernie Adams. Like, anybody else is just lying to you. But here's the thing. I would rather have Cam Newton, especially after they got Trent Brown. Here's why. This team is made to be a power running team. That does not mean they should not sign Jonnu Smith. They should not sign Curtis Samuel. They should not try to get a number one wide receiver. Yes, they should, okay? That does not mean that they should not try to be that. But what the Patriots, what they're best at last year and what they will be best at this year is running the ball and power football, okay? So combining Cam Newton's ability to run with that run game and then the play action that off of it, that's ideal. All he needs is a wide receiver, a tight end. Okay, he fits that offense, in my opinion, better than Jimmy. Okay, he gives you more athleticism. He gives you probably a better deep passer as well. And now he's going to have a full offseason in the system. So to me, yes, I think with the Trent Brown signing, adding another mauler to the offensive line just doubles down my take that they should bring back Cam Newton. And I think that's what they're going to do. Now, Jimmy G, would I mind Jimmy G? No. I wouldn't mind Jimmy G, but I think with Jimmy G, you're more of a traditional Patriot offense. You're more of a spread it and shred it. But the thing is, New England has a far way to go to become that, right? It's not like they have Wes Welker. It's not like they have Gronk. It's not like they have Edelman, who's in his prime at least. It's not like they have, Deion Branch. It's not like they have Randy Moss. They need wide receivers. They need tight ends. They don't have those guys. What they have right now is an awesome offensive line. They can run the ball really well, and that fits Cam Newton way better than Jimmy G, okay? Jimmy G's accurate. Jimmy G's got a quick release. He obviously knows the system. Belichick likes him. McDaniels likes him. I wouldn't mind him at all. I think he's a fine quarterback. But I just think if you're building the best team for this year, because I don't think Jimmy G's a long-term solution whatsoever. I think they're both short-term solutions. So in my opinion, the better short-term solution is Cam Newton. Cam Newton also gives a bigger upside because when Cam Newton is on, he's a much better player. Like Cam Newton is capable of taking over a game, while Jimmy G is only really capable of being a serviceable quarterback and, kind of average. Like, the upside of Jimmy G is like the 12th best quarterback, while the upside of Cam is in the top 10. So, that's just the difference to me between the two of them. I certainly think they should still look towards the draft, if not this year, next year for the long-term solution. But, yeah, that's how I feel like with the team that is currently constituted. Do you think that Brady will take a pay cut? Yes. The rumor is that he'll take a pay cut and reduce his contract by probably $3 to $5 million to, re-sign somebody on the team or add somebody to help him out and help him win. Actually, the rumors are that Tom Brady is looking to extend his contract for a year or two. So I don't know if that extension would mean anything. When will you make your 2020 final quarterback rankings? Probably after the draft. Brian says 2 things. 1, the only way I'd be okay with getting rid of A-Rob is a tag and trade for Orlando Brown. Also, I predict Golladay will go to Indy. He wants money. I like that. I like that as well. I think I like the Golladay and Indy thing. Singh says, Mitch, when are you going to do free agency predictions? Hoping to do it tomorrow or the next day. I wanted to get through these franchise tags because I would have been talking about like 6 of these guys. No one's talking about Nelson Aguilar. All right, guys. I think that's everything. I think that's it. I hope you've enjoyed. Again, if you have, make sure you do. Gronk, spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will see you soon. More videos. Keep a lookout, guys. Remember, turn those notifications on. Notification, all alerts, okay? All alerts. And make sure to be checking out the Bottom Line View every day. You can also follow me, guys, at Mitch Milani. That's what it says right there. See that? At Mitch Milani. You can follow me on Twitter. I tweet every one of my videos out. So follow me on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram there, at Mitch Milani. You can also follow us on Insta, at TheBottomLineView for the latest. All right, guys, thanks for watching. It's Mitch. Appreciate all of you tuning in here live, and we will see you very soon for more NFL free agency. Peace!